Up next, I'd like to introduce someone I've known and respected for years, Jeremiah Owyang. He's an AI investor at Blitzscaling Ventures, a longtime blogger, a thought leader, and the founder of Llama Lounge. Joining us from his tiny Airstream studios in the hills of Silicon Valley, Jeremiah will explore how AI agents are reshaping the way we reach audiences, and what that means for all of us moving forward, and how we will need to rapidly adapt. Jeremiah, sincere welcome. Thank you for joining us at Decode.
Heather, it's so great to be reunited. Thank you for giving me the honor to present here today. I'm going to talk about the latest trend, AI. It's on the minds of everybody, but what does it mean when we see agentic systems where things start to move on their own? And what does that mean to websites, business models, and to content in general on the internet? I'm going to give that presentation and answer those questions. I'm going to give definitions, examples, business models, and what does it mean to publishers, content creators, developers, and to other marketers and advertisers. So I know you've all heard this acronym. It means B2C, right? And then, of course, you know B2B, but what about these new ones? B2A? That means business to agent. When a company is interacting with an autonomous AI agent, or when regular consumers, people are responding and interacting with autonomous agents. That leads to this one, when agents actually talk to each other and interact. And then this wacky doodle one, oh my goodness. Well, that's a long one, but that's what the internet is going to be shifting to. An autonomous internet, when AI agents are ruling the web. That spells a lot of changes for anybody who is involved in creating the internet. And I'm here to answer, what is that going to mean to you? Hey everybody, I'm Jeremiah Owyang. And yes, I'm in an Airstream, the Airstream studios in my backyard in the hills of Silicon Valley. I've been in Silicon Valley for 27 years, since .com. And I've witnessed all these tech waves. And I got to tell you, the AI wave is the biggest one I've ever seen in my entire career. My day job is I'm a VC at Blitzscaling Ventures. I also run events for AI founders, corporate leaders, and other investors. But I have a background in corporate. I worked at Hitachi Data Systems as a marketer. I worked at Forrester Research covering industry forecasts, serving marketers. And then I was a co-founder at Altimeter Group and also crowd companies working in the Web 2 space and in the sharing economy space. I've been a blogger for over 20 years. Blogspot, WordPress, and other platforms and on social media. So being here with you today is like being at home with my community. So thank you for your time today. I run an event series called Llama Lounge. It's only for humans. Sometimes we try to get llamas there, but the city doesn't allow it. And I have hosted 17 Llama Lounge events. It's typically 300 AI founders and VCs and corporate AI partners. And this helps me to stay on top of the trends and understand what's happening in the space. And the topic on everybody's lips today is AI agents. In fact, we've hosted events just focused on agents. Even last year in March, over a year ago, we hosted Llama Lounge 8 and it was the largest autonomous agent event in the world. You can see like it goes back rows and rows and rows of people. And I could see this trend coming. Now, this space, the autonomous agent space, is already large. This data provided to us by Crew AI, agentic AI software, forecasts that the market is going to rise from 5 billion this year and have a 10x growth in 5 years, and then another 5 years, another 10x growth. It could be up to 500 billion in market value. And that's just a very conservative view on what agents are. Now you're probably wondering, and I don't blame you, please tell me, what is an AI agent and what does it mean to publishers, developers, marketers, and content creators? Well, here's a definition. Now, I didn't just pull this definition out of my backside. I actually interviewed the people who are actually building the agentic software, the AI founders and the VCs that are investing in them. So an AI agent, think of it as a living creature. It's autonomous and it can sense the world around it. It can determine the actions it needs to take. It can actually execute those actions. achieve those goals, and then over time, it learns. Now, if you work in the web publishing space or content space, this means that the most common visitor to your website in the future will not be a human. It will be an AI agent. Whoa, that's a lot to think about. Now, what are some of the attributes when it comes to an AI agent? Well, they can access memory, like thinking about what is the content that they like to get for their human master, or it might access your credit card transactions or your shopping history or your emails or your SMSs. It will determine what to do. It will have verifications and permissions to log into systems. It can complete those actions, and then it will actually learn over time. Let me give you a few case examples. So for your personal life, you can have an AI agent actually plan and do the shopping and make sure you have all the meals that you need to ordering them hot or ensuring that your fridge is stocked. You can have an AI agent manage your email systems. Finally, we can be at inbox zero. It can filter, prioritize, and respond to emails. And then at work, you can have an AI agent assemble your tasks or create content, or create a series of content, or even roll out a marketing campaign. And in the physical world, if you live in certain cities, you already see self-driving cars. Well, those are actually physical manifestations of AI agents. They can sense the world around them, make decisions, and drive people or deliver packages. Now, the advanced use case for an AI agent is that it can hire, summon, or create other AI agents, kind of like a manager. So they have a fleet or a swarm of AI agents. And that is the advanced form of this. And many of us will have AI agents reporting to us at work, at home, or somewhere in between. And this is the reality that we need to prepare for. Now, this results in a couple of forecasts. And I'm an investor full time, and I'm thinking about what does this future look like? Right now, most humans traverse the internet and web apps to go get the information and to complete tasks, whether it's to get the latest content or product information or to go shopping, right? These are the things that we do as humans. In the future, it's going to be slightly different. Hold on to your hats. In the future, the AI agents will go and visit the websites on behalf of their masters, and they will bring that information back to their masters, the humans, and reassemble it into one location. And again, that means that the most common visitor to a website in the future is probably not going to be humans, but AI agents that are the surrogates reporting to humans. Now, there's one other forecast that I want to talk about. What's going to happen is that the AI agent is going to reassemble the content in the way that the user, the way that I want, in the way that Heather wants. Maybe Heather loves text. Maybe she likes video or audio. That's going to be delivered in the way that she wants. And it might be long form content or short form, or it could be somewhere in between. And then she can choose when that content is delivered to her. Real time, morning, evening, night. It's up to her. So friends, this is a big change for the internet. It means that the data layer and the content layer is about to separate and decouple from the presentation layer. Now, for those that have been in the WordPress community for a long time, yes, that's called RSS or a text file, but it's going to happen at an even accelerated pace that's going to change business models. All right, let's go through some examples. Well, Salesforce, one of the largest enterprise companies in the world, they retooled and rebranded their whole conference and their product suite to be called Agentforce. Kind of clever. And they have rolled out customer care agents and sales and marketing agents that will help marketers at enterprise class companies to serve their customers in response to these needs. They're not alone. On the small business side, HubSpot also rolled out a marketplace of AI agents where you can hire or recruit different AI agents to complete tasks like research or competitive research, or to create content or do keyword searches, or to automate marketing campaigns as well, or even to create a new blog post. So that's already happening. We have invested in Crew AI, which is growing very fast because it's open source. And it is an agentic system that rolls across different enterprises, and different departments are grabbing the templates and they're rolling out agentic systems, replacing humans doing tasks. So humans can be more efficient, more effective, because the AI agents can be completing those tasks on behalf of humans. They're growing so fast that they're already in 50% of the Fortune 500 companies, and Crew is only 15 months old. That's unprecedented growth. The agentic space is moving so fast. Now, what about A to A, agent to agent? I talked about that at the beginning of the show. Now, in the future, we're going to see that AI agents are going to be conducting the transactions on behalf of the humans. Now, there's two features that will enable this. This is Skyfire, which is rolling these features out. We invested in this company, and Skyfire has agent identity. So have you heard the term know your customer, KYC? Of course. What do you think then KYA means? Ah, yes, of course you know. Know your agent. And so there will be an agent that has been assigned by you with certifications that represents you. Let's use Heather again. So Heather will have an AI agent that will do the shopping for her. The agent might keep her identity secret and just say, this is a real human that I represent. I'm here shopping on this website on her behalf. Or it might say, hey, I'm an agent that is certified for a human, and I want to tell you that she's very serious about this new car, and she's got a great credit history. Heather looks very trustworthy, of course. Or the agent may, at the right time, certified by Heather, say, hey, I'm representing somebody named Heather who lives in the city, and she's ready to buy this vehicle. So the agent could represent you those different levels of permission and identity. The second thing that these tools will do is enable payment. And the agents will be conducting a lot of those transactions on behalf of the humans. In the case of agents, they're often going to be doing micro transactions. That could just be a few cents. And it doesn't make, it's not logical for an AI agent to use a credit card. The fees are too high. So they will use stable coins or some other form of payment. Now, what we're seeing in the space already is that there's a desire, this is important, there's a desire by many developers and content producers to purchase content at a micro level. So it's possible that you might have visitors to your website in the future that want to purchase a premium content for just a few cents, and there'll be thousands, millions of those transactions happening per week, per month, and that will be a new revenue source. So that's something to think about as the agent-to-agent transactions start to emerge. And I'm watching this unfold right here in Silicon Valley. Well, it's not limited to the enterprise corporations and the startups. Big tech, they caught up really fast. Google realizes this is a major threat and they got to be in front of this. So they launched Google Mariner. And this is an AI agent that is embedded. It's an extension on Chrome that will take control of the user's experience and will actually click through websites and complete tasks. It will surf the web for you. Again, the thesis is in the future, the most common visitor to a website will be an AI agent, not a human. And Google knows this and they have to figure this out. It's an existential threat to them. What about OpenAI? They've also announced that they will have AI agents. Meet Operator, which was announced earlier this year. And this is an agent that is also connected to its own browser that can perform tasks for you, whether it's collecting information or completing transactions. This is something that's going to roll. Now, I don't know if they have the right distribution that everybody's going to need a new browser. We've already gone through the browser wars, so I'm a little skeptical that they'll get that distribution, but we'll see what happens. Now, this leads to an interesting thought. How big is this market, and can we have a broader view? And I'm so excited. I have a map for you today. My background as an industry analyst is to map out markets and explain to you what do they actually mean. Now, depending on your role, whether you're a marketer, advertiser, content producer, or developer, you need to understand this because it gives you the ability to see where you should plot your career and for your clients and your business. Now, I didn't pull this out of my backside again. I interviewed the actual experts that are actually deploying these technologies. So I talked to the founders and the VCs that are funding this space, and I interviewed them and I got checks and sign-offs on this graphic before I published. Now, at the very bottom is the data layer. we'll walk through each of the layers. So the AI agents are accessing data, number one, from exclusive sources. And again, this needs the permissions. It's estimated, by the way, that 80% of the world's data and information is behind a firewall, whether it's a personal cloud, a corporate cloud, or government or military cloud. Most of the information in the world is not on the public internet. And so that's a rich trove of information for agents to go and get. Number two, they are already interacting and getting information from the public web. And for those that are content producers, including me, many foundational models and AI agents are already grabbing or have indexed our content. And it's already in the search engines. It's already in the LLMs. It's already in Perplexity, the search tool, and AI agents are already accessing that information. Now, this leads to an interesting question. Will we have a standards body that emerges for AI agents? I host an event called the Agent Congress for founders in big tech, and we're trying to figure that out right now. But so far, we're just using the existing standards that exist. So could an RSS or some type of syndication emerge, or a protocol that's universal for all agents? Haven't seen it yet. We'll see what happens. Big tech is involved in this space, and traditionally they don't play well together, so we'll see what happens. The next layer, it's the management layer. The management layer, each of these bullet points are a whole series of startups and even enterprise tech. So in the first bucket is agent permissions and security. We already talked about agent authentication and KYA, knowing your agent, and tiered credentials and the capabilities which they will be assigned and allowed to go into these different websites and apps, whether it be consumer apps or enterprise apps. We need to make sure we have control over where these agents go on our behalf. On the right-hand side is the management layer. Oh, there's a whole host of startups here. Most of them are in San Francisco. There's agent orchestration, determining how do agents collaborate and work together. Now imagine we each have 10 or 100 or 1,000 agents working for every single internet user. How do we determine who gets priority? And so arbitration will be a way to determine who gets the rules of who accesses which content, or maybe the Taylor Swift tickets first. We already spoke about payments, where we believe that agents will be responsible for the mass majority of payments. And there's also new business models, again, microtransactions and even purchasing micro content, premium content. That's a new model that's going to emerge. And then, of course, the agents improve over time. They learn. And so there's a number of startups working on that. The next layer is the application layer. Now, this is the mass majority of agents in the space. And there's so many startups by every business function, from marketing, sales, content, creator economy, or to customer care, HR, operations, supply chain. And then you take that permutation across every geography across the world. I was just in Dubai. I met startups doing that there. Now on the right-hand side is the horizontal players. This is AI agent software that can be rolled across an enterprise or across other consumer apps as well. Now, at the highest level here is the ecosystem layer. What we're starting to see is AI agent marketplaces. Just like we see marketplaces for plugins or for apps like an App Exchange or the iOS app or Google App Store, everywhere we see those, we will start to see AI agents being offered as additional apps you can download and use, and we'll also see dedicated agent marketplaces. Prior, I showed you Agent.ai, which is run by HubSpot. So that's a marketplace of agents. So we'll see more of these emerge over time. Assume OpenAI and Anthropic will have their own versions of these marketplaces as well. So that's the landscape. I could spend 6 minutes, 60 minutes, or 6 hours just on this graphic talking about the market. But today I'm just giving you the 6-minute overview so you understand how to plot your career in your company. And if you're creating content, thinking about these different layers. Where do you need to play? Where do you have strengths? Where's the market going? This will help you to figure out how do you stay relevant in this market. Now, this is going to create some significant changes. So Gartner, I was a forestry analyst, but Gartner forecasts that search engine traffic will plummet by 25% by the end of this year. Wow. For Google, that is catastrophic. That is a serious dip. Now, if you are used to getting search engine traffic as well as a content creator or producer or developer, that means that the ways and the routes that you're going to get new visitors, human or agentic, is going to change as well. Now, Bill Gates, yes, that Bill Gates, says this: whoever wins the personal agent, that's the big thing, because you'll never go to a search site again. You'll never go to a productivity site again, and you'll never go to Amazon again, because the AI agent will be the one to visit those sites on your behalf. Wow. Now, I do have one caveat. I still think that humans will visit some websites, but these are the websites that you want to lean in on. What could these websites be? I think it's entertainment, news, video games, social, collaboration, communication, luxury website experiences. I think that the websites that are attractive that you want to go to, those will be the ones that you as a human will go to. But any other type of content that is just informational or laborious or filled with ads, nah. You can have your AI agent go and do that. So you need to think about this strategy on how the world is about to change for our entire industry. It is quite significant. Now that leads us to this final framework, and then I'll bring some insights home and summarize what I think this means to all of us. The way that we make decisions is about to radically change. It's going to change the decision funnel. Well, I'm sure you're familiar with this classic funnel of awareness, engagement, consideration, and purchase. And the way it works today is a person who is shopping or looking for a new product or service, B2C or B2B, low commitment to a very high commitment product or a high consideration product. You might be exposed to ads, or you might do some searches, or you might read media, you might run across some cool blogs, and then you might start to engage. You might go to a website, you might do some interactive campaigns, you might visit or subscribe to a blog or some content, and then you might even go deeper. You might compare products and those services, and they're probably on different websites. You might go to YouTube to look at reviews, and then finally, you might make that purchase or do that call to action if it's B2B. And that might be e-commerce, requesting a sales call, or subscribing to something, right? So that's the typical funnel. And let's be honest, that is broken. That is a broken model, because you have to go to all these different websites. The information scattered about. It's in formats that you may not want. It might be filled with ads that are retargeting you and following you around. You have to visit Google, which is mostly serving ads, versus you just want the content. Now that means that it's not a great user experience. Now fast forward to what's happening now, and you can see it in your daily life. I'm sure you get information from GPT, Claude, or Perplexity, or even Google Gemini, is humans are asking AI about their needs, whether it's consumer or business, and you're going to prompt that AI to give you more information. You might ask the AI to compare the products and even get pricing information. And then what I expect to happen by the end of this year is that the call to action or even the e-commerce will happen right in the large language model, or the AI agent app that you're going to use will be embedded right there. Again, you don't have to visit a website for this to actually start to happen. That is the big change, and that is a significant change. Now in the midterm, let's fast forward. Here's the forecast. AI is going to understand what you need. It's going to be reading your emails with your permission, your SMS, your purchase history, understand what do you read, what do you click on, and then it's going to proactively dialogue or listen to what you need, and it might recommend the content that you want, or might recommend the products or services that you want, and it will start to make those decisions on your behalf. I'm already seeing startups in San Francisco do personal shopping for people based upon personal preferences. And of course, that will result in on the way they consume content as well. So this means if you put all three of these together, we're shifting from a manual way of using the internet and making decisions to a hybrid way, to an automated way. That's a big change. Now, I gave you a lot of information, and you've been such a patient, diligent audience that I want to bring you a summary to really crystallize everything today. I gave you a lot of changes, insights, a market map, definition, examples. I brought you a lot, but let's distill it down to 5 final points. Number 1, AI agents are going to bring the info to us as humans. Now, the sub-bullet on that is the AI agents will centralize the information and they will manage the tasks and they will grab the information. And it means that we as humans don't have to visit websites. Number two, it means that content will be delivered to us in a multimodal format in the way that the humans choose. Now, hear me very carefully. Websites actually become more important, way more important, because where do you think those agents are getting that information? It's just not that the humans are visiting, it's that the agents will visit. So all of the content that you've already produced, and I've done over 2,000 blog posts, that's still very important information because it's training the AI and the agents need to know what have I published in the context. So the information that you have still and everything you've published still matters, but you need to make sure it's updated, cleaned, and a single source of information. That's really important. Your job is to be a great custodian of the existing content that you've published. It does not go away. So that's a really important message that I want you to hear. In order to be ready for these two theses that I see coming, you must be a great custodian of your existing content. Number two. Whoa, I think you know this one. The media, advertising, and revenue models on the internet are about to radically change. Google ads may be less relevant, but on the other hand, we see that Perplexity, the generative AI search engine, has already promised that they're going to have sponsored sentences and sponsored ads and sponsored answers built into their system. So we may be querying these tools, say, hey, tell me the best vehicle to have if I'm going to drive up to Lake Tahoe in the mountains. And it may say, oh, well, obviously Chevy Tahoe, Toyota Highlander, and then it might say another brand. This one is sponsored sentence, right? So that's going to happen as well. We will also see that e-commerce is going to be integrated into AI agents and foundational models. And then we'll start to see the commerce models decouple in different ways that we haven't seen before. Number three. This one's really relevant here, is that traditional companies and publishers or anybody who's creating content, you're going to experience a power loss. And I think you might feel a little bit nervous about the content and the predictions that I've made, but let me tell you how you get that power back. There's a couple of ways. I expect that every website and every CMS will launch its own special API to give AI agents the information that they need. Right now, most of the AI agents are reading all the text on the page and they're doing click-throughs and they're simulating the click-through path and the keyboard path on behalf of humans. It's really inefficient and it breaks, especially if the content on the web page breaks. It's not efficient. So I'm expecting a new type of API to emerge that will help AI agents. And it also means that every company is going to be launching an AI agent right on their website that will interact with humans. And then also the agent will interact with the buyer side agent and they'll have a dialogue. So that's an opportunity for you to build those two things. Number four, here's another opportunity for you. Now that we know that generative AI has taken the world by storm and it's real, this is such a great opportunity for marketers, content producers, and developers is to provide personalized content for every user at every single touch point at scale. I recently heard the CMO of Pfizer speak, and he said around 10% of their content is already being AI generated because they're doing it with regulations in mind and making sure they have the right checkpoints. They're doing it in every language, and they're making it personalized for each person. So the content can be personalized at scale. That is a great opportunity for content producers and marketers. Finally, we can give that detailed experience to every single person in the way that they want. And that will be on your website, but that will also be decoupled because the content will come to the consumer when they're not visiting your website. We talked about that prior. That's point number one. And lastly, this one is a little bit science fiction, but just bear with me on where I see this is happening. In the future, we're going to see a new type of organization emerge. It might be a new type of content producer that has premium content, or it might be a new services provider that's offering new type of developer services that it's run by AI agents. And AI agents can already complete tasks and you can hire them. So that means they can generate revenue, which means they'll improve over time. So in the near future, it's possible that your competitor or your best customer could be an AI. not an organization run by humans. And that's the future. So I hope those 5 final points really crystallize where we see AI impacting content, marketing, and development for the internet. Thank you so much. Delighted to be here. I'm Jeremiah Owyang. If you want to grab those slides or stay in contact with me, here's my information here.